Please welcome to the stage Mr. Ben Alvord. Where are you, Ben? There you are.
I have never played the game World of Warcraft. I've been forbidden to by myself. World of Warcraft, if you're unfamiliar, it's an online computer game. It's like if you took Game of Thrones and Dungeons and Dragons, mashed them together, uploaded them into the cloud, and then dove out of the way just before the ensuing stampede of nerds trampled you to death. I want to play it really bad. The thing is, though, the game's very addictive. It has no end. You can't win. You can just play forever. In Asia, numerous people have actually dropped dead in internet cafes after playing for 20, 30, 40 hours at a time. I know if I started to play that I would become the first American victim. Found slumped over my laptop with a thin line of Red Bull flavored drool hanging from my bottom lip. And even if I didn't die, my wife would leave me, and then my cat would leave me. I know this because back in the 90s, I used to play games that were sort of the rudimentary precursors to World of Warcraft. My favorite one was called Exile. I played it my junior year of college because I was very cool, and I was living with my two best friends, Mike and Brian. The three of us shared an apartment, a two-bedroom, in a building called Nick's Bricks. The apartment was okay. Nick of the Bricks was a very good landlord, but the three of us were just slobs. The only time anything got cleaned was about 20 minutes before any unsuspecting girl showed up at our doorstep, so not very often. And the kitchen in particular was a disaster area. We had developed our own novel approach to dishwashing, wherein all of the dishes were piled in the sink, and they were all dirty. And if you needed a dish, you got it from the sink, and you washed it, and you used it, and you put it back in the sink. It was a great system, but then Brian totally fucked it up. Because Brian got a new girlfriend from Billerica named Sharon, and she started to come and visit and stay with us for days at a time. Mike couldn't stand Sharon because every time he came home from class, from not going to class actually, all ready to watch his Batman the animated series, Sharon, somebody said yes. Must be Mike. He found Sharon already there, planted on the couch, watching the Surgery Channel. It wasn't actually called the Surgery Channel, but there was a channel where they pretty much just showed surgeries, and she was really into it. As far as I could tell, besides watching surgery, the only thing that Brian and Sharon did together was they had sex, and then they made fried dough in that order. They made it in this big pot of oil, the fried dough, not the sex. This had been going on for weeks, and Brian didn't wash the pots when he was done. He just put them in the sink until all of our pots were in the sink on top of the dishes, the whole mess of it covered in oil. So one night I was in my room playing Exile. I'd been at it for like 10 hours. I was totally in a zone. And unbeknownst to me, Brian was in the kitchen making fried dough, and he was talking to his mother on the phone, and somehow the pot of oil ignited. And Brian said very calmly to his mother, "I gotta go, the kitchen's on fire." And he hung up, but then he just stood there staring because he didn't know what to do. But luckily Mike was there, and he knew what to do. You don't throw water on a grease fire, you smother it. So he grabbed a lid out of the sink, and he put it on the pot, but the lid had lots of oil on it. And so a geyser of flame erupted off the pot, straight up to the ceiling. It was licking at the cabinets above the stove. And Mike came barging into my room, holding up the fire extinguisher, just panicking. "How do you use this fucking thing?" And I looked at him and I said, "I don't know." And I shut the door in his face. See, I was in the middle of this really intense battle with a bunch of orcs, and I was concentrating. And this is why I can't play these games, because I shut out the world, even when the world is on fire. So Mike, he finally did in the kitchen. He figured out how to pull the pin out of the extinguisher. For the record, it's not that hard. You just pull. And then he let loose with the foam like somebody from an 80s action movie using a machine gun for the first time. Just like, "Rah!" Just doused the whole kitchen. I wandered out of my room a minute or so later, confused. What's the deal with all this smoke? For the rest of the year, we talked about how we were going to repaint that corner of the kitchen. It was black. But we never did because we were very lazy. And when we moved out, Nick of the Bricks gave us back all but about $200 of our security deposit, thus placing him firmly and alone in my own personal pantheon of awesome landlords. But these days, anytime I think of playing World of Warcraft or any other game, I just think back to that time when my kitchen was on fire and I was much more concerned about the orcs who had surrounded me, and then I walked quickly away. Thank you.